हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, प्रणाम।
प्रणाम प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा।
प्रणाम प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
Prabhuji, can I do the Radha Madhav bhajan and then we can start the class?
You will be making me co-host.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll make you the co-host
Both
also.
Radha Keshadas, both you can do. In case of any power failure, I can switch to data package.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji.
And you can start Radha Madhav. Yeah.
Would anyone else like to do the Radha Madhav song? Hare Krishna, Mataji?
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
Yes, Mataji.
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, यमुना तीरा वनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, जय जय प्रभुपाद जय शिल प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की शिल प्रभुपाद की जय गुरुदेव। थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam भगवतीर उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखातमृत द्रव संयुतं बिबद भागवत रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः शण्वतां स्वहदः कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्थो हे अभद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम् हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे. Hare Krishna devotees. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 13th chapter, 1-3, titled Descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. Description of descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. We will be reading, trying to understand from verses 10 to 16. So meanwhile, I take the blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas here so that I can be of some use to this parampara by explaining the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam and explaining the glories of how a human being has to take his life so that they get the maximum, utmost benefit in the same lifetime. So here actually this particular chapter is, if you see, it is explained by Suta Goswami to the Shaunaka rishis at Naimisharanya. The same conversation what Maitreya had with Vidura, because we all know that Vidura was asking so many questions. And one such is, Vidura is keep on asking about the glories of the devotees of the Supreme Lord. So that conversation, Suta Goswami is again repeating. So now we are in the 10th verse now actually. So prior to that, Vidura was explained by Maitreya Muni how Dhruva Maharaj, we all know the story of Dhruva when he was so young, just in order to supersede, in order to become greater than his father Uttanapada. So he was meditating in the forest and then he became a great ruler. So that ruler now is going to leave the kingdom. Dhruva, after achieved whatever he wanted to attain the realization. During that initial meditation itself, he got the complete realization and he was able to take the darshan of the Supreme Lord. But now that Dhruva Maharaj is leaving, so all these stories were explained. Maitreya Muni is listening all this nectar, Vidura is receiving all this nectar from Maitreya Muni. And subsequently, what has happened to the kingdom of Dhruva? Now Dhruva has left, right, for self-realization that he is going now. Then subsequently, his own son Utkala is about to be coronated as the ruler of Dhruva Maharaj. But unfortunately, he is completely a self-realized person. Utkala is a self-realized person, and he is refusing actually. He is refusing that I don't want this kingdom. Because he knows what is the purpose of the human life. He again don't want him to get entangled in this material life, getting more responsibility as a ruler. And he is fearing that maybe due to his responsibility, he may be not in a position to take up the devotional service. So he is refusing. So with this background, with this understanding, we are going to read all the 6 verses, which is going to talk about what has happened to Utkala and what has happened subsequently to the kingdom of Dhruva. So basically here today, it's about the descendants. So many names are coming. And finally, end of that sloka, who is going to take over after Dhruva? That's our understanding. So we are going to start from the 10th verse. Canto number 4, chapter number 13. From 10th verse, 10 to 16, we are going to understand today. So I'll be reading the verse number 10 now. Jada anta badironmata muka kritir atanmatihi lakshitaha pati balanam prashantarichir iva analaha. Jada anta badironmata muka kritir atanmati Lakshitaha pati bhalanam prashantarchir iva analaha. Somebody wants to read the verse, they can do that, and they can do the translation and purport also.
Hare Krishna, Anushya Mataji, you can read the shloka, Shilpa Mataji, the translation, and Varnali Mataji, the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Jadandha vadiro mattamukha kritir atanmatihi lakshitha patibalanam prashantarchir ivanalaha. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Danvat Pranam.
Pranams.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ji Jai. Utkala appeared to the less intelligent persons on the road to be foolish, blind, dumb, deaf, and mad, although actually he was not so. He remained like fire, covered with ashes, without blazing flames. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In order to avoid contradiction, botheration, and unfavorable situations created by materialistic persons, a great saintly person like Jarabharata or Utkala remains silent. The less intelligent consider such saintly persons to be mad, deaf, or dumb. Factually, an advanced devotee avoids speaking with persons who are not in devotional life, but to those who are in devotional life, he speaks in friendship, and he speaks to the innocent for their enlightenment. For all practical purposes, the whole world is full of non-devotees, and so one kind of very advanced devotee is called Bhajananandi. Those who are Goshtianandi, however, preach to increase the number of devotees, but even such preachers also avoid opposing elements who are unfavorably disposed towards spiritual life. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat
Thank you.
Pranam. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. So, the summary of this particular sloka is all the common people, they are considering Utkala as a madman. So we read the purport, like because he is behaving like he is refusing, he is not talking. So it looks like he is a madman to others. So exactly, if you are understanding how a saintly person is behaving, in the purport Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about the Jada. We all know the story of Jada, right? Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj wanted to get the enlightenment. So he is leaving the kingdom, like how today we are seeing Dhruva Maharaj is leaving and they are looking for a proper descendant to take over the kingdom. So similarly, when Bharat Maharaja was leaving, he was practicing devotional service. He was doing all the yogic practices so that he can get the enlightenment. But unfortunately, he fell in love with a deer, like he started showing compassion to a deer, and which has resulted in he was not able to get the liberation. So technically speaking, Bharata Maharaj, during his third birth only, third lifetime only, he was able to get the liberation. The third life is called Jada. That is what it is mentioned here, and they are comparing Utkala with Jada. Jada was keeping silent. As Bharat Maharaj, he was able to do a lot of achievements because he realized how he failed, how the golden opportunity for a liberation was lost because of his compassion towards an animal. He realized all those things and he was keeping quiet during that particular Jadabarada existence. When he was born as Jadabarada, he was not at all talking. And everybody was considering him like a madman, like how Utkala here is narrated by others as a madman. Jadabarada was also. So to that extent, only the father in that family was able to show some compassion on him, and he wanted him to learn a lot of Vedic scriptures, verses and all, which Jadabarada was refusing because he was afraid. Maybe because I am trying to learn something new, I may be losing my track. My ultimate goal may not be achieved. So he was like maintaining the silent throughout that particular lifetime. His own brothers were treating him very badly. The local people were treating him very bad treatment was given to Jadabarada. Even he was kidnapped by tribal men. They wanted to sacrifice that human sacrifice, the tribals. But goddess Sakti has to appear in front of all the tribal people, and she was attacking all the tribal people, and Jadabarada was rescued. Even when Raghugana king's servants took him, because of his silence, they took him and they wanted to take the chariot, like they wanted to take the palanquin, right? Palanquin. When the king was traveling in the palanquin, Jadabarada was made as one of the carriers of that palanquin. That is the time the king realized this Jadabarada is not an ordinary person. So because somebody is not speaking, it doesn't mean that they are fools. What in spiritual life we need to understand is you have to satisfy the Supreme Lord with your action. Whatever you speak, that needs to be satisfied for the Supreme Lord. It is very much confirmed in various verses, various Puranas. Swanustishtaya dharmasya shamshiddir haritoshanam. That means we need to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Because when we keep talking nonsense and when we are performing a lot of activities in this material life, it all leads into fruitive activity. It's getting some results for you. So by getting the results, what happens? The repeated life of birth and death is keep on happening because you are not following the regulative principles. You are following only the regulative principles for a fruitive activity. That is what in Srimad Bhagavatam, one more verse is telling. Dharma savanushtustha pumsham vishwakshena katashuya. Na utpata yadi ratim srama eva hai kevalam. You may be performing lot of dharma, you may be doing lot of duties for your prescribed duty. But if those things do not provoke, if that do not attract the Supreme Lord, then all these things are useless labor. All your efforts are useless. So what we are understanding from Utkala and Jadaparada is they were very, very clear that ultimate thing, what is to be happening. Karmakanda activities are required if you are going to develop the Krishna consciousness. When we are comparing these particular words for Utkala, why he is talking, okay, in this modern day, in this Kali Yuga, it is impossible for everyone to keep quiet and all. But how you are going to keep your talk very useful for developing in spiritual process. Unwanted talk has to be limited. We should not be wasting our time for talks which are not going to produce anything. That is what it is telling. It is a useless labor because it is not provoking any attraction for the Supreme Lord. Even Madhavendra Puri is telling, I am not at all going to follow the principles of Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda principles, kindly excuse me. I cannot follow all these principles because I am fully engaged in devotional service. When we are talking about the Karma Kanda activities, we know we are respecting the yagas, we are respecting the yagnas, we are respecting the rituals, we are trying to please the demigod worship, and so many things are happening. But here, through Jadabarada and this Utkala, we are trying to understand how that silence has to be kept properly for the mood of pleasing the Supreme Lord. The same terminology Prabhupada is using here it as Bhajananandi and Goshti Anandi. What is a Bhajananandi? Because this world is full of non-devotees. For those non-devotees, if somebody is trying to work for them, if somebody is trying to make them enlightenment towards all these things, then they are useful for Bhajananandi. Goshti Anandi, we all know that, right? Goshti Anandi is the person who goes out and he does practically enlightenment to all those people. Whereas this Bhajananandi type of people, they take care of only for their progress only. They don't want to do any type of things for the benefit of others. So Goshti Anandi is they go out, they preach, they try to bring all the people into the fold of the Krishna consciousness, or about informing about the ultimate attraction, ultimate aim. What is the mission of an individual? When Prabhupada has founded this movement, the mission for him is to see how best everybody is getting the Krishna consciousness. So similarly, the Goshti Anandi, they have to go out and they have to do that. But unfortunately, what is happening is modern day people are not at all interested. They wanted to simply enjoy their life. I'll just share my personal experience. I was working in a North Indian state, like during my early days in 85, 86 and all. I was working in a bank in a North Indian city, very famous city it is. So where I was staying in a building. It is a two-story building and we had some 20, 25 rooms. It is full of bachelors working in different companies. Some engineers were there, some accountants were, some MNC employees, all those people were there. 2 months before, what had happened is one of my roommates, he was trying to collect. We never had so much of interaction, so much of touch after I left that city. He started creating one WhatsApp group and today we have around 25 members in the WhatsApp group. I was casually asking that guy, that administrator, what is the purpose of this? You need to have some agenda because I'm not very keen in joining in different WhatsApp group. Yes, I know all you people were my friends when I was working during those days, late 80s, in the sense 89, 90 and all. I was that, but I wanted to understand my agenda. And then this conversation took place and everybody was asking, what is to be our agenda? What is to be our agenda? Then I was putting my proposal that we need to be very purposeful, very constructive. Maybe you can talk about your health issues, you may be talking about the social welfare issues, or we may be trying to talk about some religious things. Because I know all these people are materialistic people. They may not accept immediately if I tell we need to read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and all, they may say you get lost from this group. So I was slowly trying to put them, how best I can make them to understand the purpose of our life. And I said Atma, self-realization, transmigration. So different topics I was putting and we need to do. Immediately, you know what the response came from everybody? Everybody was telling, we were enjoying when we were in that city. That means they were all in their teens, like not teens, maybe 20, 25, 26, 27 years, something like that. So whatever we enjoyed during that period, we wanted to replicate. We wanted to enjoy the same thing now also. So all the proposal, everybody, one particular person has put that proposal. So everybody was seconding that opinion. Yes, this is the right decision. We need to enjoy our life. We need to enjoy our life. So this is the material life today. So they are all not at all interested. Here Prabhupada is talking about Atmanandi. Atmanandi is a self-satisfied person in devotional service. He is not bothered about the welfare of others. He says, I don't want to fall down. So let me practice my devotional service. But here the modern day Atmanandi is, they wanted to keep on getting satisfaction like what they were enjoying some 20 years, 25 years and all. So that is what it is happening. If you are taking another example, Kardama Muni is a typical Atmanandi. Even his own wife Devahuti, he was not bothered to uplift his own wife Devahuti, and subsequently his son Kapiladev has to give all the instructions, all the philosophical talk to Devahuti so that she can understand. So some of them are like Atmanandi. So Bhajanan, this is not important for us, whether it is an Atmanandi or a Bhajananandi. That means a person who is independently, he is trying to progress in the devotional service. But as the Goshtiyanandi, that is what Prabhupada is asking. If you are preparing a Rasagulla, and that Rasagulla, whether making one Rasagulla for yourself is good, or to make Rasagulla for mass of the people, which is good. So we are talking about making Rasagulla for mass of the people. Then subsequently, he is talking about Daridra Narayana Seva. What do you mean by Daridra Narayana Seva? Today in modern days, you have so much of philosophers, so much of religious leaders who doesn't talk about Krishna. They talk so many things. So if that Rasagulla is not offered to Krishna and given as a prasadam to everybody, even making that Rasagulla for the mass is also waste of time. So that is called Daridra Narayana Seva. So when we are wanted to be silent, that silent needs to be having some purpose. Not to talk material talks, spoiling your devotional growth. That is the real talent, real silent. And you want to become a Bhajananandi, yes, fine. But if you want to become a Goshtiyanandi, that Goshtiyanandi should serve the purpose. They have to give offered Rasagulla to everybody. Krishna Prasadam, they need to give the taste of Krishna to everybody. So that is what we are trying to understand from this particular verse. And even in Bhagavad Gita, it is telling, right? Yagna Sishtastinam Shanto Mushyante Sarva Gilbishaha Bhujante Tetva Ahan Papa Ye Pachanti Atma Karanat. Eating Krishna Prasadam, associating with devotees is, they are all released from all kinds of sins because they are eating the food offered. The first sacrifice is given to Krishna. So in that way, we are helping. The people are coming out from all these things. So we need to understand from this particular thing, how we are going to be developing. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Shanta Sataiva Kridayeshu Vilokayanti. Santas. Santas means we need to make others are getting the pleasure from Govinda. Who gives the pleasure? Mukunda, giver of liberation. Krishna, all attractive person. So we need to see that people are getting the taste of Govinda or Mukunda or Krishna. So we, the devotees, may be performing different yajnas. That yajna should be attractive to the Supreme Lord. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Marchanam. So many things we are talking about the yajnas. This yajna should be purposeful. Keeping silent is meaningful. When we are preaching, it should be for the masses. So here, Utkala is like an Atmanandi. Though he is silent, he is progressing in spiritual life like Jadabharata, and they were all liberated in the same lifetime. Of course, Jadabharata is in the third lifetime, but Utkala in the same lifetime he got liberated. But unfortunately, people around them were considering such people as madmen. So with that understanding, we are going into the next sloka, sloka number 11. Matvatham jatam unmatam kula vruddhaha samantrinaha vatsaram bhupatim shakrur yaviyamsham brahmeshutam. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Kripamai Mataji, you read the shloka. Meenakshi Mataji, the translation, and Rishabhanu Mataji, the purport. Hare Krishna.
Audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Audible, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
Matvatachadam unmattam kulavirta samantrinaha vatsaram bhupadam chakrur yaviyamsam brahmi sudam. Thank you, Prabhuji.
There's no purport?
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada says, for this reason, the ministers and all the elderly members of the family thought Utkala to be without intelligence and in fact mad. Thus, his younger brother named Vatsara, the son of Brahmi, was elevated to the royal throne and he became king of the world. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
So,
Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. May I read purport?
I think somebody has read the purport, right?
Yes. No. I am reading, Prabhuji.
Okay. Read.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. It appears that although there was a monarchy, it was not all an autocracy. There were senior family members and ministers who could make changes and elect the proper person to the throne, although the throne could be occupied only by the royal family. In modern days also, wherever there is a monarchy, sometimes the ministers and the elderly members of the family select one member from the royal family to occupy the throne in preference to another. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So the summary of this particular verse is Utkala's younger brother Vatsara was enthroned. Instead of Utkala, Vatsara has been given. So who is choosing Vatsara is all the elders, all the brahmanas in the kingdom, and their action is for the benefit of the kingdom. Younger brother, son of Brahmi. The king is son of Brahmi. So here younger brother means not a direct brother like we have these brothers, right? Elder brother, like how the Pandu, Kauravas. So like that, the second lineage, the descendants means the second lineage. So Brahmi king's son, Vatsara has been enthroned by the elders and the Brahmanas. So it is very clearly appearing in the purport. Srila Prabhupada is appearing. There is no monarchy, and at the same time, it is not an autocracy. What do you mean by monarchy? Means if you have seen like so much of history in the Mughal emperor and all, the sons of the particular king, they will keep coming. Even in some of the Muslim countries in the modern days, you can see they all come like that. I'm getting on inward call. Okay. So that is called a monarchy. So here also we are talking about the descendants of Dhruva. But here what is happening is there is a slight break, but still we are not considering that as an autocracy because the senior family members and the Brahmanas are very much interested to give the welfare to the society. That they wanted to keep somebody who is very honest, who knows the Vedas, who respects the Brahmanas, and who can run the administration so that the citizens, the inhabitants of that particular kingdom are very, very happy to do that. If you are comparing this setup with the modern day politics, not a majority party, that is, who gets a majority of votes, they are unable to form the government. in the pretext of coalition, that means when a coalition party is selected, every individual voters will have their own choice and they will select that particular party. Their agenda of that particular party will be different. But unfortunately, those parties will collide and they will form, meaning every individual party will have an agenda, different agenda. So not all the people's expectation will be met by this coalition government. So this is a real autocracy. In the pretext of sharing the power, they are imposing the autocracy. The people's choice were not given importance in the modern day politics. Whereas there in those days, it is very clearly mentioned that the welfare of the people is very much important. The Brahmanas are selecting. We all know the story of Vena, right? That is Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj is Vena's son. So that Vena was something like an autocratic. He was behaving like a demon. Even Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura is mentioning Hiranyakashipu and Vena, but of course he is telling Vena is little better than Hiranyakashipu because Hiranyakashipu was never given any respect to any of the Brahmanas. Except Brahmadev, he has not given respect to anybody, including Narayana, he was not giving respect. He was considering Narayana as the enemy. Why he gave respect to Brahmadev is the benediction, whatever he wants, the benediction was given by Brahmadev. But here, Vena is little different. He was afraid of Brihumuni. So that way, he was showing some interest. That means he was showing some respect to the Brahmanas. But unfortunately, though he has shown the respect to the Brahmanas, his ruling was cruel. He was not at all bothered. Like even when he is going for hunting, he used to kill small deer. A real courageous Kshatriya has to kill a tiger or a lion or something like that. But Vena's cruelty is in such a way that he goes and kills a small deer, innocent animals. He used to kill and he was taking proud, oh, I went to the hunting and I made a lot of hunting today. So this has developed some sort of animosity between the Brahmanas and they decided to remove him by killing him. So we all know the story of how Vena was killed. So why we are telling that is, these Brahmanas, they have selected and in place of Utkala, a proper arrangement was given so that the country is flourished by Vatsara's ruling. So that is what we are understanding from this particular verse. So with that understanding, we are going into the next verse, 12th verse.
Hare Krishna, Soma Mataji, you read the shloka. Sridhar
Shloka.
Prabhu, Prabhuji, you recite first. Okay.
Svarviti Vatsarasya Ishta Bharya Ashuta Sat Atmajan Pushparnam Tikmaketum Cha Isham Urjam Vashum Jayam. Yes, somebody can read.
Hare Krishna, Soma Mataji, read the shloka. Sridhar
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna
the
Mataji.
translation, and Navakishori Mataji, the puppet. Hare
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Swarvidhi Vatsara Shreshta Bharya Suta Sadatmajan Pushparnam Tigma Ketum Cha Isham Urjam Vasum Jayam. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Dandot Pranam. Hare Krishna, translation by Prabhupada. King Vatsa had a very good dear wife whose name was Sravati, and she gave a birth of 6 sons named Pushpara, Digmedu, Ishan, Urjan, Vasu, and Jayan. Hare Krishna, Jaya.
Purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandot Pranam. Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandot Pranam. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vasara's wife is mentioned here is Ista, which means worshipable. In other words, it appeared that Vasara's wife had all good qualities. For example, she was always very faithful and obedient and affectionate to her husband. She had all good qualities for managing household affairs. If both the husband and wife are endowed with good qualities and and live peacefully. Then nice children take birth, and thus the whole family is happy and prosperous. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So basically, from this verse up to 18th verse, it is going to talk about the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj. So we'll be getting a lot of names and all. So this particular verse, the summary is Swarviti, wife, was delivering 6 sons. And what is that primarily we need to understand from this particular sloka? In the purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about the word Ishta. Ishta means worshipable. So the quality of the wife has to be taken care. How we are telling that is behind every successful man, there is a woman, there is a saying, right? So similarly, here, if you see in the previous verses, the idea of the Brahmanas is to select a king who has to give a good ruling to the kingdom. So when the king is giving such a likable ruling, so the family in which he is there, how the wife has to support him. She has to behave in such a way that she should be a worshipable lady. Worshipable lady means a perfect life partner. Sometimes she has to give the full support to the husband so that he follows the Vedic rituals and he exhibits whatever ashram he is there, he is a Brahmana or a Kshatriya, whatever the Vedic rituals are telling, they need to follow that with the help of the wife. The finest example in the Shastra, in Srimad Bhagavatam, we have is Kardama Muni and Devahuti. Devahuti, we all know that. Devahuti is not like a modern day ladies. Modern ladies, when they come, they will come with an agenda, right? Before marriage itself, they will tell, my agenda is Saturday, Sunday, we should socialize. I will not cook. We all should go for some pubs. We need to go for some restaurant. I will also drink. You should also drink. That is the condition of modern girls nowadays. But when Devahuti came, Devahuti has come from a royal family. Whereas Kardama Muni is like a beggar. He was a mendicant. He was simply sitting in a hut, actually, not even a hermitage, a small hut. He used to sit and he used to meditate on the Supreme Lord only. But Devahuti liked, because Narada Muni has told that this Kardama Muni is the finest person. He is a great sage. So got attracted with Narada Muni's words, and Devahuti came from such an affluent family. She came, and it is because of Devahuti's support to Kardama Muni, not financial support, everyday, day-to-day life. So he was able to progress very well in the spiritual life. Then subsequently, there is a small difference when Kardama Muni himself was very much like he got disappointed, not exactly disappointed. He started feeling compassion for the wife. Oh, you came with such a royal affluence, but unfortunately, you are looking now so pale, and you are like a skeleton body you are maintaining now. It's all because of me. So what exactly I can give you? So then it is a big dream came to Kardama Muni and Devahuti, and they were all enjoying the life for so much time. And then subsequently, Kardama Muni left by giving Kapila Dev, and she got liberation through the sun only. So similarly, when we talk about Kunti Devi was a very, very successful woman behind Pandu. Pandu had 2 wives, Madri and Kunti Devi. But this Pandavas, what we are talking about today, is because of Kunti Devi. In that way, she was very much with supporting the husband and the family, and she was exhibiting the real qualities for the woman. So that is how the woman has to be a worshipable. The wife has to be worshipable. So Vistara's wife is in such a way. That is what we are understanding from this sloka. Then 13 and 14 and all is keep explaining about the same descendants. So we will be simply reading the 2 slokas. Let me read the sloka 13. पुष्प अर्णश्य प्रबभार्या दोषच्छद्वे बहुवतुः प्रातः मध्यान्तिनं शायम् इति हे आशन् प्रभशुतः. Somebody can read in the translation.
Hare Krishna. Anusuya Mataji, you can read the sloka and translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. पुष्पार्णस्य प्रभाभार्या दोषचाद्वे बहुवतुः प्रातर्मध्यादिनं सायम् इत्याह सन् प्रभाषुतः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Pushparna had 2 wives named Prabha and Dosha. Prabha had 3 sons named Pratar, Madhya, Dinam and Sayam. Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Basically, it is all only the names which they are talking about. Now we will go to the next sloka, 14th sloka. Pradosho nishito vyushta iti dosha shutashtrayah vyushtakha shutam pushkarinyam sarvatejasham adate. Yes, somebody can read and translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Pradosho nishito vyushta iti dosha sutastraya vyushta sutam pushkarniyam sarvate jasam adade. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dosha had 3 sons, Pradosha, Nishita and Vyushta. Vyushta's wife was named Pushkarni and she gave birth to a very powerful son named Sarvateja. Hare Krishna.
So again, same thing. It is keep on developing until we come to the Chaksushu. So we will be reading sloka number 15 and 16. It's a combined sloka. Sa Chaksusha Shrutam Akutyam Patnyam Manum Avapaha Manor Ashuta Mahishi Virajan Natwala Shrutan Purum Kushtam Tritam Dyumnam Shatyavantam Vritam Agnishthomam Atiratram Pradyumnam Shipim Ulmukam.
Hare Krishna, Shilpa Mataji, you read the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sarvateja's wife Akuti gave birth to son named Chakshusha, who became the 6th Manu at the end of the Manu millennium. Nadvala, the wife of Chakshusa, Manu, gave birth to the following faultless sons: Puru, Utsa, Trita, Dyumna, Satyavana, Rita, Vrita, Agnistoma, Atiratra, Pradyumna, Shibi, and Ulmuka. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So the Sarvateja, the other name of Sarvateja is Chakshu. He had a son. He got a son called Chaksusha. This Chaksusha is the Manu. His wife is Akuti. So how this descendants of Dhruva Maharaj, now we are ending with Chaksusha Manu. Chaksusha Manu is the 6th of the 14th Manus. We know in the day of Brahma, we are having this type of Manus, and these Manus are progeny and they are supposed to give the rules and regulations to be established. They are not giving the rules and regulation, but they need to sustain the rules and regulation. So the other Manus starting from the Swayambhuva, Swarochisha, Uttama, Tapasha, Raivata, then we are talking about the Sakshusha Manu, and presently we are in Vaivashvata Manu. The current Manu is Vaivashvata Manu. So this Manu's job is basically like they need to ensure the progeny, like so much Brahmadev is keep on creating, and this Manu has to maintain the rules and regulations of law of nature. So basically, we need to understand from all this set of slokas, correct? Atmanandi, Bhajananandi, that is Goshti Anandi or something like that. What is our role in that? And subsequently, how a Sanatana Dharma has to be established. Because basically, the descendants of Dhruva has given an excellent administration. So the descendants, until Chaksusha, we are ending it up. So the purpose of all these things is to know how spirituality is getting developed, how the society should be filled with God consciousness, how the Sanatana Dharma has to be established. Utkala was remaining silent, we know that, but he was performing only devotional service. Devotional service is he was meditating continuously, like how Jadaparada we were telling it. So a devotee has to exhibit the qualities of kindness, spiritual focus, equanimity. You need to consider everybody as equal, and you should have a clean mind, and you have to be free from material obsessions. If at all we wanted to become a real devotee, How we will become silent is when we strictly follow all these things, we will be automatically following the kindness, and we will be following the need for keeping our silence. So in Bhagavad Gita and many Shastras, it is explaining about the 26 qualifications as the transcendental qualifications. Whether you are in a different social conditions, whether in different varna, different ashrama, whatever occupational order you are having, you need to maintain. The reason is material conditions are miserable. In the material life, nothing comes very easily. You need to struggle hard and you don't get any satisfaction for that. So that is why by practicing all these qualities by all classes of men, whether you are a Brahmana, you are a Kshatriya or a Shudra, Vaishya or a Sudra, then you can raise to the platform of transcendental realization. The purpose of human life is to understand the Supreme Lord, right? Atato Brahma Jignasha, we are telling, right? So to get that, everybody has to qualify like a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava qualification in the Bhagavatam, it says a Vaishnava is considered equivalent to Avaduta. If you are talking about not Avaduta, like a Vaishnava. So when we are talking about the Avaduta Brahmana, when he met Yadu, King Yadu, when Krishna is about to leave this material world, Uddhava went to Krishna and he was asking, I also wanted to come with you. So that is how this particular chapter of Avaduta Brahmana's discussion and Yadu, Avaduta Brahmana and the Yadu king's discussion is starting. So Krishna was advising Uddhava what are all the things he has to do, and he is refusing to take Uddhava with him. And he says, you have to go to Naimisharanya and you need to go associate with all the sadhus. Naranarayana Rishis, not Naimisharanya. Naranarayana Rishis sadhus, you have to go and associate, and you need to take my philosophies, my philosophy, everything to be preached to others. So in that portion, this Avaduta Brahmana's discussion with Yadu king is happening, and he is talking about 24 spiritual gurus, whoever he has met during his a sort of a pilgrimage. All the sages, they don't remain in a place, right? So they will be keep on moving from one place to another place. And when he was keep on moving different places, he is saying different people, and he is learning some realization from all those people. And he is explaining everything, and in everywhere, especially in the last 7 verses, last 7 witnesses, last 7 spiritual masters, which the Avaduta Brahmana has seen, starting from Pingala, and it is talking about how the material attachment leads to misery. So unless a devotee is developing the Vaishnava qualities and improve himself in the Krishna consciousness, and unless he becomes blameless, because if somebody is blaming a Vaishnava, if somebody is blaming a devotee for not maintaining the quality, it is like an insult to the Supreme Lord. You cannot call yourself as a Vaishnava. It is a scare on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada is writing, like you have that leukodomia, right? The entire body color changes, and in the entire white body, if a small brown patch is there, it looks something different. So similarly, a person who is making a sinful activities or some mistake, despite being called as a Vaishnava, it looks insult for the Supreme Lord. So maintaining the quality, remaining silent, performing the devotional service is the topmost. Remaining silent here is you have to show all your thing for developing yourself into Krishna consciousness. In Srimad Bhagavatam, a verse it says, Annamani cha granati loko britye kritagashi sha shathu vatas tat kirtim hanti tvacham ivamayaha. The smallest mistake committed by a servant of the Lord, it pollutes, like how the leukodermia is polluting the skin, it pollutes the entire atmosphere. So similarly, the real silence is in performing devotional service. Haridas Thakur, we all know the example of Haridas Thakur. Despite born in a Mohammedan family, from the very beginning, he was not trained in Karmakanda activities. He was trained only in chanting. Even he has not followed the Islamic rituals or anything like that. So that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is calling him as a Namacharya. Because the bhakti is without prajalpa. If you are engaging in prajalpa and if you are opening your mouth and you are not maintaining the silence of Utkala and Jadabarada, then it is not a bhakti. And bhakti can be performed very, very easily. The Supreme Lord is not asking anything very difficult for you to achieve. Patram pushpam phalam toyam, right? He is telling, I am looking only for your affection. How you are showing your love and affection for me. Now we all finished Gaura Purnima very recently, and if you see the reasons for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to appear as Lord Krishna, there are 2 external reasons and 3 internal reasons. And out of the 2 external reasons, one reason is Advaita Acharya's prayers. So how Advaita Acharya was praying is, every day he used to pray with a tulasi leaf and Ganga water, and he was praying to the Supreme Lord that you have to come. After your Krishna avatar, people are not following. There is completely lack of consciousness on Krishna, lack of consciousness on bhakti. So you have to appear, and you have to appear as a devotee, and you have to follow that bhakti. So people will take you as an inspiration and they will be following the bhakti. So that is one of his prayers, and which he says is offered through Tulasi and Ganga water. So simple prayer only, he said, and the Supreme Lord has completely given himself to the prayers of Advaita Acharya. Dvau bhuta shargo loke ashmin daiva ashura yevacha Vishnu bhakta smruto daivo ashuras tat viparyayaha. It talks about the world is created with 2 classes of men. One is a demonic and another one is godly. So all these demonic people are completely talkative people. They talk prajalpa and they all will be doing a lot of nonsense. But this Vishnu Bhaktas, they are equivalent to Devatas, they are equivalent to demigods because they have the Sura Bhava. They don't have the Asura Bhava, they have the Sura Bhava, godly qualities. Vishnu Bhaktas are always Krishna consciousness. So Advaita Acharya was maintaining such quality, and this is the real silence. He may be doing a lot of other activities, but everything was focused for the benefit of getting something good for others. So like I told you, Mahaprabhu's presence, this Tulasi, a simple worship of Lord Krishna. We all know that Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. The same thing. Tulasi Dala Matrene Jalasya Chulukenava Vikirnite Swam Atmanam Bhaktebhyo Bhaktavatsalaha. This is in Hari Bhakta Vilas. There is a small mention about this sloka, and this is a Gautamya Tantra, the prayers. Advaita Acharya was praying this, and he was considering the meaning of this verse. Yes, I am going to offer through Tulasi and Ganga water to please the Supreme Lord. So why I am telling all these things is, worshipping of the Supreme Lord is very, very simple, and we need to show only a simple love. He is not at all looking for your affluence. He is not at all looking your house should be very big. You should have a palatial bungalow to do some worship and all. No, he is looking because as an eternal soul of the Supreme Lord, everybody, we all have come with a specific purpose, advancement. Yare deke tare kaha Krishna upatesha. Amara agnaya guru hona tara ye desha. We need to instruct everybody about Krishna, as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. So in this way, we can also become a spiritual master. Remaining silent is for Utkala to advance. Similarly, we also need to break silence by developing the Krishna consciousness, by talking about Lord Krishna, so that everybody becomes Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada is telling about giving up the family so that join the society. This is not our mission. He says, don't leave your family. One can comfortably remain in residence. Many people are thinking, oh, if I want to join Krishna consciousness, I need to leave everything. I need to renounce. I need to wear saffron clothes. I need to become a sannyasi. No, not at all like that. Whatever status, whatever stage you are there, you need to understand about the Supreme Lord, the presence of Supreme Lord in all your actions. Then you have to perform your devotional service. Simply chanting the Maha Mantra, Jivera Swarupa Hoi Krishnera Nitya Dasa. And we are all servant of the Supreme Lord. By meditating on the Supreme Lord, by remembering the Supreme Lord, by doing the service to the Supreme Lord, we are all considering ourselves as the servant. Oh, this Supreme Lord is so glorious. He is magnanimous. I am chanting his name. That means you are getting the servant bhava, that you are not superior to the Supreme Lord or you are not superior to somebody. I am chanting on the glories of somebody, so that somebody is my master. So I am doing like this. When Sanatana Goswami was asking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is the time he was answering. He is asking, who I am? Can you give me the answer? He is a qualified person, so much of material qualification, so many things. Brahmana by birth. Unfortunately, he was working for a Muslim king, Hussain Shah. But he was asking who I am. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was talking about the gross body and the subtle body, and he is telling about how the mind and intelligence has to be used. And this is how completely he is establishing. We are also having the big responsibility. Whenever the Supreme Lord is appearing, he is telling, right? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. He is telling, paritranaya shatunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam. He says, I wanted to establish dharma. We as the followers of the Supreme Lord, we as the members of the ISKCON, we are also having the responsibility like a Supreme Lord. Part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, we are telling, achintya beda abeda tattva. Qualitatively, we are same, but quantitatively, we are very infinite. So what is that quality is the Supreme Lord is coming to establish the Dharma. We are also having the same responsibility of establishing the Dharma. We need to go, we need to preach, we need to do Nagar Sankirtan, we need to do the book distribution, we need to talk about the Supreme Lord. This is where our silence is broken, and this is where we are helping the society to establish Sanatana Dharma. And thus what is happening is everybody is coming, and this Chakshushya Manu has been installed so that the rules and regulations of the Shastra is followed. We are also having the same responsibility by preaching and ensuring everybody is knowing about the purpose. Like I told my friends who opened the group, nobody is interested to understand about all these things. They wanted to enjoy their life like what they enjoyed 35 years before. As a youth, you may be knowing what a youth will be doing. He will be marrying, like drinking and marrying. So they wanted to go to the same life. They wanted to go to the same hell now. Despite being known that rarest form of life is this human form of life. And if at all you are not going to use this particular lifetime for liberating yourself from this material life, then shamayeva kevalam. All your efforts, whether you are earning money, you are making a lot of millions of rupees, everything is wasted. Again, you are coming back in a different form of life in your next birth time. So this is what is our understanding. Don't be a Bhajananandi, be a Goshti Anandi, and try to spread Krishna consciousness through this movement and try to see that everybody is realizing about the importance of this birth. So with that, I am ending this class. Hare Krishna. If you want to have any doubts or you want to add any points, we will wait for 1 or 2 minutes.
Hare Krishna devotees, any questions, you can raise your hands.
Hare Krishna Mataji, may I Mataji?
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Prabhuji, we are told not to see anything auspicious or inauspicious in Krishna consciousness. So in that, some Matajis I have heard saying that taking bath on head bath on Tuesdays are not very good. So something like that, Prabhuji. So we should look for it. I mean, follow that, Prabhuji. Like, I mean, certain. I don't know. Is it from the Karma Kanda or anything? I don't know, Prabhuji. I just want to
See, this is
only
what all
12.
the Karma Kanda activities like and all.
Okay.
Generally, snan, what do you mean by snan is it is a full bath. You have to take full bath. But due to health conditions, some of them will have sinus or some of them will have long hairs. And with the wet hair, they will be developing some sickness and all. So due to that, it is difficult for everybody to follow. In order to avoid all these things, only Krishna is telling, just surrender unto me. Simply chant the holy name every day without failing. Whether you are interested to take head bath or not, immaterial. Just you think about it, whether today I have done the chanting. Whatever chanting you have committed, if you are an initiated devotee, you should do minimum 16 rounds of chanting. And if you are not an initiated and you are taking a sankalpa, okay, at least I have to do 8 rounds, 4 rounds, 2 rounds, whatever you have taken the sankalpa, if you do that, that is the real auspiciousness for us. So kindly forget about all those things, whether taking bath on a Friday, head bath, or Saturday, head bath and all. It is all completely a karma kandik activities.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandat pranam. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I think we can end the class today. If you have any prayers or to end the class.
Yes,
or...
Prabhu, we'll do the prayers. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo anantakoti vaishnavvrinda ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Shri Grantaraj Bhagavatam ki jai. Danvat pranam, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to all devotees. I'll end the class, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Could I end the class, Prabhu?
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.